No, not at all. Obviously, the only way he would really regret it is if they don't win a championship. But they've proven that they can be a championship organization, right? They put the championship team around Dirk Nowitzki. They've been good, for a long time now under Mark Cuban. And we know he'll spare no expense to go out and sign free agents or make sure that they have state-of-the-art facilities that rival any in the league. So I don't think he'll regret it at all. What I want to see is how they build around him. And we know they brought in new front office people in Nico Harrison, new head coach in Jason Kidd. I want to see how Kidd uses Luka, because right now Luka is the system. And no matter how good you are, that can be tough to win. Michael Jordan didn't win a championship when he was a system. Phil Jackson got him into the triangle, and that's when they began winning championships. LeBron needed incredible players with him, Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, Kyrie Irving, to win championships because LeBron was the system. So Dallas, they may have trouble getting those superstar caliber players that LeBron had with him that could play next to Luka as when Luka be in the system. All right? So that means, do you have to change the way they play? And Luka becomes a part of the system, still the leading scorer and assist man and best player and all that, but still fitting into a system that makes it easier to bring star teammates to play with him. Because right now he does everything. And that can be frustrating for other players that have great ability, like Kristaps Porzingis is already frustrated. So I'm interested to see how that works this year. But overall, Luka is incredible. I think he will be able to win a championship in Dallas. So, no, I don't think he'll regret this, Joy.
Look, you're 22 years old regretting $207 million. We got to talk, okay? So I don't think he's going to regret staying in Dallas right now. If he stays there his entire career and doesn't win a championship, maybe. But this particular contract, he'll be all right. And to your point about Kristaps Porzingis, Kristaps can be mad all he wants to. He ain't Luka Doncic. So what the Mavs need to do now that they have Jason Kidd, they have Nico Harrison, and they've locked up Luka, is work at putting together a roster that fits what Luka does. You have a little bit of time now. Luka is still developing. What happens sometimes in these situations, I think, is there's just this kind of grab to put together talent, and it doesn't actually fit the system and the player and the star. So get pieces that actually complement Luka. We see a lot of this in Philadelphia. They keep trying to force this thing to work, and it's not working. Are you guys winning? Sure. Are you winning championships? No. So if that's what the standard is, then it's not working. So put together pieces that actually make sense, that complement each other. Luka is still a very young player. He's still a very young leader. So he's going to develop. His personality is going to grow, and he'll learn more about the game and how to be an actual winner at the highest level. So this is a process. I mean, we're talking about Giannis. Like, Giannis has been winning championships for years. Like, he just won his first championship. He's been in the league a long time. He's had a lot of accomplishments. He's a great player. It takes a lot of things to come together to win a championship. So we know that Dallas is capable, to your point, Chris, of putting together a championship team. So they have time now. They just signed Luka to this contract. Put together a championship team.
Okay, let me, you guys unloaded a lot here. And listen, I hear what you guys are saying. No, he will not regret being a Maverick for the obvious. I mean, I don't want to be Captain Obvious like y'all were. Y'all Captain Obvious, 207 reasons, million reasons not to be. Right. That's, I mean, you're not going to regret having a contract of that size. The regret may come in staying in a place where you don't bring in the players that will lead to you winning championships. That might be the regret here. And it's not egregious to actually think and assume that that's possible. You mentioned earlier, and I did not just have the point or time to discuss it or rebut it, that Milwaukee is not a great market, was able to win a championship. Yeah, they did win a championship. They had a big market, have two of their main players go down to injury. and was a shoe toe away from heading towards really going home. In fact, they probably would have got swept by Brooklyn had the injuries not occurred to Irvin and to James Harden. So yeah, I mean, to me, I find it to be strange to use Milwaukee and Giannis as this barometer of how you're able to build a winning team and a winning franchise for the NBA. It's not a given. Plus, I think Drew Holiday was the missing link. The offense, most of the time, had to go through Chris Middleton. You got to have guys that bring to the table what those two brought to the table, and I don't see that in Dallas right now. You talked about Dirk and talked about Nash, Broussard, and I'm thinking to myself, that was a time when I was active. I used to hang out with a lot of different people in different walks of life. I know you did too, Joy, and I know you're connected to the NBA. Not like that. Come on, not like that. But I know you're connected to the scene too, Broussard. And to me, I saw a dude in Dirk Nowitzki that people, like, he was a rock star. People wanted to be around Dirk. Dirk partied with us. And I mean, when I say us, he partied with us. So there was an attraction there for guys, Michael Finley, different guys to want a Marion, wanting to go to Dallas and be around a Dirk Nowitzki. I think Luka is a young stud, but does he have that appeal to compare him to Dirk when that was the period of time where they were able to lure some high-end, high-profile guys around him to win it? I think that remains to be seen. There could be a little bit of overplay in terms of talking about where Luka ends up trajectory-wise when we start comparing him to guys like Larry Bird or Michael Jordan, because quite frankly, he does not have the personnel to match that as of yet. And I don't know if they will. That's all I'm saying. But it could be a regret.
Here's the thing, LeVar. First of all, Dallas isn't Milwaukee. With all due respect to Milwaukee, Dallas is on another level. All right, it might not be New York City or Los Angeles or Chicago, but it's also not Milwaukee or Sacramento. All right, Dallas is a thriving city that can attract free agents. Then you mentioned Steve Nash and Michael Finley. They didn't win championships. When Dirk won his championship, LeVar, he didn't have stars around him. Jason Kidd was old and out of his prime. Sean Marion wasn't the star that he had been in Phoenix. Jason Terry was a very good, six-man or sniper-type scorer. J.J. Barea was playing a huge role. Tyson Chandler. So they didn't have stars. And look, this sounds crazy to people, and because I love Dirk Nowitzki, he's one of the greatest power forwards ever. But Luka's better. All right, he won't be historically better right now because he's young. He's got to win the championship. But Luka is a better overall player than Dirk Nowitzki was. So Luka will be able to win championships. And a lot of these guys in his way, LeBron, Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, they're going to fade away, in the several years. And then Luka, I know there's young kids coming up, but Luka will be able to win a championship. None of them are better than him, though. He will be able to win a championship and MVP awards, too, in Dallas, Joy.
Yeah, he will. And to LeVar, your point about the injuries, there's always injuries. Injuries are part of the game. Can't play coulda, woulda, shoulda. Every single year we could go back through playoff runs and look at what team would have had what player, and Chris Paul and James Harden and Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard. Like, there's always an excuse and a reason why things happen along the path to a championship. That doesn't make what Giannis and the Bucks did any less valuable and important or a way to build a championship team. I agree with you about Drew Holiday and PJ Tucker. I think they were the additions that put them over the edge because you had Giannis and Chris Middleton there every single year. Giannis was a great player for years leading up to this championship run. But what Milwaukee did in building that team the way that they did and bringing in the players, to your point, Drew Holiday and PJ Tucker, to add to what they already felt was a championship roster is what put them over the edge. But you have to be a well-run organization to be able to make those moves in the first place. So if Dallas can do that, if Dallas can build a roster and bring in players like that, like a Drew Holiday, which aren't everywhere, but bring in players that complement Luka, guys who know how to win, veterans, good leaders, build a